Now that our script hides the status toolbar, we really need to recreate more of the features. We've already created buttons for list view and form view, which normally would be done through the status toolbar here. We've already done a find button, which is this toolbar option here. We have new and delete. We have print, which will require some access to this toolbar. We have record navigation here. But the one thing we don't have is how many records are we looking at? Found sets are so important to FileMaker, we need to make sure to show this data. So since we're going to hide the status toolbar eventually, never show it for users, we need to give them feedback. And you do that with a calculation. So we'll go into Manage Database, and we're going to go to the Field section, and we'll create a field called Found. That'll be a calculation field. Now I'm choosing a calculation field and not an auto enter calc. The reason is we'll be found when we look at the actual calculation. So we'll create that. We're going to go ahead and set the result, which is going to be number, and we're going to get a function called getFoundCount. So we'll scroll down to that one. There it is. It's right there. I'm going to type it in, getFoundCount. So here we go. Here is a calculation that has no field references. So what's going to trigger it to update? Good question. Let's see what happens when we go ahead and click OK. Let's put this on the layout. We'll go into layout mode. We'll type in @ that's for our current record, of, and then we'll insert the merge field. And I accidentally choose merge variable there, so let's change that, insert merge field, and we'll go and find our found field. And let's see how that works out. Go into browse mode and see it says 16 of 44. That looks pretty good. Let's switch records. Well, the record number is changing. Let's omit a record and see what happens. We have 43 found, but it says 44 here. That's not good. It's actually not updating because there are no fields referencing it, telling it to update. It's going to have the same value in there as when you created it forever. That's no good. We don't want that. So we're going to go to Manage Database, go to our found field, and update it. So the way we're going to update is by going to Storage Options. And we're going to click this option right here, Do Not Store Calculation Results, Recalculate When Needed. And what that says is don't store the results. What that means is calculate every time the screen refreshes. So the screen refreshes a lot whenever you change records, whenever you go ahead and change modes, change layouts, close and open the file. All kinds of things cause a screen to refresh. And then what's going to happen with this option checked is it's going to refresh that calculation each time the screen refreshes. So don't do this to all your calculations. For one thing, you can see that indexing is not possible, right? You want indexing to make fast finds, but in addition, let's say you had 100 of these unstored calculations on your layout. Every time you switch records, it'd have to recalculate regardless whether the information changed or not. So unless you need it, don't unstore it. So we'll click OK here. And there we go. Let's go ahead and see how it works. Now you can see it's already updated. If I omit a record, it changes. If I go into find mode and type in, let's find all the last names that begin with S, you can see it's updated. So every time the screen refreshes, it's going to update and give us the right feedback. So let's go ahead and nestle it down here between these. And I'm going to put each one of the anchors on just the edge, outer edge of this graphic here. That looks pretty good. And then we'll center it. And when we go to browse mode, you'll see that it's nicely centered between that. It's a little trick to make sure it's centered between two graphics like that. So there we go. You have a nice feedback. So now we can really hide the status toolbar and know that we're giving them feedback that they want.